filing rules for your self-directed IRA. Hey everyone, Adam Bergman here, tax attorney and founder of IRA Financial. On today's Adam Talks, getting close to tax filing season. So what do you need to know and understand and consider if you are a self-directed IRA investor? So on today's podcast, going to break down self-directed IRA, single member, self-directed IRA, multiple member, and then we're going to focus a little bit on the 1120 if you use a blocker corp to block against UBIT. The 1120S for S corps, I'm not going to focus on because an IRA cannot be a shareholder of an S corp, so you shouldn't be filing an 1120S anything or in any relation to an IRA investment. So let's start with a single member LLC. Single member LLC is treated as a disregarded entity for tax purposes, and just as the name suggests, it's an LLC owned by one person, whether it's an IRA, whether it's an individual, whether it's an entity, one owner. One owner owns an LLC that's treated as a disregarded entity for federal income tax purposes, and no partnership return is required to be filed, no 1065. How does the IRS know who reports and what the income is from that LLC from a tax standpoint? Generally, the owner of the LLC will report the income on his or her or the entity's tax return. Why? Because an LLC is a pass-through entity. Unlike a corporation, which is like a big box, which has a corporate level tax of 21%, an LLC is a flow-through, kind of like a funnel, right? A bottle of water, right? Everything just kind of flows through. Nothing's blocking the water. So there's no entity level tax on a partnership or LLC. The owners pay the tax based off their pro rata share of an allocation of net profits. So if Adam Bergman owns 100% of ABC LLC, then Adam Bergman will report the income or losses on my 1040, since I'm an individual. If a corporation, 1120 C Corp, owns 100% of an LLC, the C Corp on the 1120 will report the income allocated to the corporation from the LLC, which it owns 100%. So if your IRA owns 100% of an LLC, there is no tax filings for the LLC, zero. Now, the state may have an annual franchise fee like Texas or Tennessee, or there may be some annual filings like Florida and other states where you may have to pay a small fee each year, but there's no tax return. Texas, Tennessee, Nevada, some other states that have franchise fees will require you to file a franchise return, California, but it's not a federal tax return. It's more of a state franchise return. In most cases, there's no state taxes on the LLC flow through, since an LLC is a flow through. Multiple member LLC, treated as a partnership. So if you have an LLC with two or more partners, whether it's 2, 3, 10, 50, 7,000, that is treated as a partnership. And an multiple member LLC must file a Form 1065. That is due March 15th, 2023 for the 22 taxable year. So even if your LLC is owned by 2 IRAs, 10 IRAs, 30 IRAs, 1 IRA and 1 person, it's still treated as a partnership for tax purposes. And a Form 1065, as well as its respective state form, must be filed as well. No taxes due, right? It's just a information return, but the return needs to be filed because that is a requirement that the IRS imposes, and there's obviously taxes, penalties, not taxes, but penalties and interest if you file late. So you want to file it. You can always get an extension. You file a Form 7004, we'll give you an extension of 6 months to September 15th to file your 1065. Now listen, if you're a client of IRA Financial, we have an amazing new tax filing service that if you are part of our consulting service, we will file the 7004 and the 1065 as well as the state form for you. No additional fee. It's part of our $299 annual compliance service. Where else are you going to get tax professionals that not only answer your questions on prohibited transactions, UBIT, also going to file 1065s, 1120s, all for just $299. It's incredible, right? And trust me, some people actually fight us on paying the $299, which I don't know, it blows my mind. But it's a great service. We do it. We basically lose money. It's just we want to offer this service to our clients so that their structure remains in compliance. That's what's important to us. So again, multiple member LLC treated as a partnership, files a 1065. As part of the 1065 is a form K1. The K1 basically tells the IRS who the partners are, i.e. IRA Financial Trust for the benefit of Adam Bergman IRA. You put your IRA address in, you put the tax ID number for the custodian, and you'll also indicate that the partner is an IRA. Don't worry, we do it for you. If you're a client of IRA Financial, if you're not a client of IRA Financial, you should be. Anyways, you can always move your account to us and join our compliance service, and we'll file a 1065 for you. So March 15th, you're watching this video, listening to this podcast, which you can also watch on YouTube. Hopefully it's before March 15th if you have an LLC with 2 or more partners. If you have a single member LLC, don't worry. I don't want to scare you. You do not have to file a partnership return by March 15, 2023 if you have a single member LLC, okay? This is only for multiple member LLCs. Multiple members, 2 or more members. If you have a single member, you do not need to file a Form 1065, okay? But if you do have more than 2 members in the LLC and you're the manager of the LLC, you'll need to file the 1065. If you're a client of IRA Financial, we handle it for you. So I don't need to go step by step on the 1065 form and the K1 to tell you how to do it because we do it for you, okay? Which is just an unbelievable service that we're super stoked about. If you invest in a hedge fund, private equity fund, they file the 1065 for your IRA. So if you're, for example, invested 100K in hedge fund or venture capital fund, real estate fund, any partnership, you do not have to file the 1065. They do. They file the K1. You don't. The only time you need to file the 1065 is you're the manager of the LLC. So you have a checkbook control, self-directed IRA LLC. You're the manager. It's owned by your traditional and your Roth, or your spouse's Roth and your Roth. Then you got to file a 1065. Now, some clients say, well, Adam, I'm not a business. Like, I'm just doing a real estate deal. I'm holding a piece of land or Airbnb or just a rental. The issue is you're still treated as a partnership. It's a joint venture. You still need to file the 1065. Technically, though you're not a business, you should still file the 1065. It's super quick. And guess what? We do it for you. So you don't have to stress about it. Just notify us, talk to us. We will do it. Okay. We'll file the extension for you or file the form if you have all the information. But probably at this point of the year, we're going to file the 7004 extension. Give us 6 months so we can work with you to file the 1065 on time by September 15th and get you where you need to go and keep your self-directed IRA LLC in compliance. So this podcast was focused on 1065. The 1120 for the corporation, that's due April 15th, right? The 1120S for S Corps is due March 15th. But again, IRAs cannot be shareholders of S Corps. So there should not be an 1120S filed in any relation to an IRA investment, because technically if your IRA is an investor in the S Corp, it blows the S election and the S Corp reverts back to a C Corp. So it's really just not relevant. So again, this podcast is focused on the 1065. It's for multiple member LLCs where you're the manager. It's a single member LLC checkbook control. You do not need to file a 1065. Do not worry about this podcast. You can turn it off, or you can just mute it or not listen to me or not watch it. But if you have an LLC, multiple members, you do need to file a 1065, which we will handle for you. So that's the point of today's podcast. Short and sweet, right to the point. Trust me, I know I've been harping on single versus multiple. I guarantee you I'm going to get 50 questions after this video and podcast saying, Adam, I got a single member LLC. Do I got to file a 1065? No, it's only if it's a partnership. How do you know if it's a partnership? Well, you should know who owns your LLC if you're the manager. But if not, look at your operating agreement. Look at the Exhibit A, the cap table. It's going to show who the owners are, partners, the members. And if it's 2 or more folks, whether it's 2 people, 2 IRAs, an IRA and an individual, 250,000, you got to file the 1065 and the K1, which lets the IRS know who the members are. There's no tax due. Remember, partnership, like an LLC, single member, just a multiple member LLC. It's a flow through like this bottle of water. Nothing's stopping the water. Everything's clear. And unlike a C Corp where there is a corporate level tax, single member LLCs, multiple member LLCs do not pay entity level tax, just single tax at the entity level, at the shareholder level. But at this point, since the shareholders, an IRA, there's 0 tax, right? If you have a Roth IRA that owns an LLC, there's 0 tax. Zip. If it's a single member LLC with a pre-tax IRA that owns it, The only single tax that will happen is when you take a required distribution or just take a distribution out of your IRA prior to 73. If it's Roth and you never have to pay tax, so long as you're over 59 and a half, the Roth's been open 5 years, it's literally tax-free, no LLC tax and no member tax since the member is a Roth IRA. There you go. Single member LLC, no 1065. Multiple member LLC, you got to file the 1065 by March 15th. You can file an extension 6 months to September 15th. We do it for you if you're a client of IRA Financial. So do not stress. Just notify us. Obviously, we need to know that you want us to do it because you have most of the information. We don't, right? We're the IRA custodian, but we're not the manager of the LLC, so we don't have access to the books and records of your LLC. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed today's podcast. I wanted to kind of keep it real, straight to the point. This was done on purpose because we're getting close. If you're watching this or listening to this before March 15th, if you're listening or watching after March 15th, I hope if you're a client of IRA Financial, at least that you get our newsletters and you've at least opened it so you can see that there is a deadline to file the multiple member LLC 1065 K1 by March 15th. And it's a single member LLC, you're good to go. No tax filings. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Appreciate all the support. You guys are awesome. Have a great day. And I'll talk to everyone again next week. Ciao.